All right, next up, Molineux Wolves versus Fulham. Oisin, this promises to be a very interesting game. We've heaped the praise on Wolves quite a lot this season. They were very disappointing against Newcastle, though. A bad Newcastle team, and I think most of us on last week's episode we had predicted Wolves to win this game. But yeah, just to go, St James's Park against that Newcastle team, concede 3, not score. They'd be very disappointed with that.
Yeah, and in fairness, a lot went against them too. Like I think I heard a lot of reports that some of the decisions, which just seemed to happen to Wolves a good bit this season, went kind of out of their favour. Fairly, it was going for more for the home team. But take nothing away from it. Newcastle on their day will beat anyone. I know they're missing a lot of key players, but like they do have it in them to put out a performance like this. No more
Yeah.
than Wolves has it in them to lose fairly comfortably as they did. But again, Wolves has injuries too. I can't just say that Newcastle are the only ones with injuries. But Gary O'Neill is a very resilient manager. I think he's a good manager. I can definitely see him managing a top club. I always heap his praise. They both win. Wolves and Fulham have won 3 in their last 5 games. I think Fulham maybe got 2 draws and the other 2, maybe the 2 losses. I'm not too sure, but this will be a good game. I think this will be a very attacking game. I can see a lot between Neto's in good form. He's looking good lately. Like he's back to the form he showed at the start of the season where he was really going at defenders. Iwobi's doing well too, or whatever your man's in for Fulham. Yeah, I think this will be a good game. I think this will be a very good game for the neutrals.
Definitely, like Aaron. Interesting enough stat here now. In every meeting between the two clubs since 2004, at the Molineux, Fulham have only won once. So going back 20 years, they've only won once at the Molineux. So this could be. It's quite an interesting stat. When I was reading that, I was like, oh, geez, I was kind of surprised by that. But yeah, like Oisin said, kind of two teams in the same kind of form. Win for Wolves would see them, if results go their way, they can see them jump up to 8th. And indeed, Fulham can go up to 10th if results go their way as well. So it's kind of like two of the same kind of teams doing as well as each other, I would say.
Yeah, I like Wolves. I think everyone is praising Wolves really this so far this season, and rightly so, definitely. And as Oisin said, Neto is going very well, and I think he'll get a big money move this summer, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
But I think Fulham are a bit of a dark horse. I think they're just under the radar. They're doing really well, getting their results. Like obviously they bet us there not long ago, and Oisin was saying there about their last 5. They've got one loss, 1 draw, and then 3 wins in the last 5. So that is actually good going.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
That Molineux stat has surprised me because I was going to keep on to say that I think Fulham will go there and cause a lot of issues and probably get the win. But yeah, if that's the stat that's hovering over your head and they're all thinking about it, I mean, that's not going to help at the same time, So
yeah,
it could go. It's hard to know. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. We've often talked about Fulham, like how they're so hit or miss. Like you don't know what Fulham team is gonna show up. Like they could go, like we seen them last weekend against Brighton. It's been done 3-0 pretty comfortably. Like I thought in that game, like Brighton would probably run out winners in that game. I know we'll talk about Brighton later on, but I just feel like once they have that consistency going, Fulham, like they're a very, very tough team to beat. Like especially going to Craven Cottage, like it's a tough ground to go for a lot of teams. So yeah, lucky enough for Wolves, this is going to be in a Molineux, and they would have history on their side. But like we said, like. With Wolves, there's that kind of apple, hanging above them, kind of leading them on to go and maybe push for those European places. Like 8th place is there for the taking, and
That's a good phrase to use. That's a good use for phrase.
I could. It was the carrot leading you, wasn't it?
Yeah, carrot leading. Yeah. Well, no, the apple for a donkey as well. Look, it's. I think. If we go on last season, Fulham had a good season last year. They for the most part, they overachieved for what their expectations were. They had a poor start to this season, so we were basing their start to their season for majority since after Christmas. The last 5 games, 6 games, however it is, they have been performing well. They have shown glimpses of the form they had last year. I think I didn't know that stat either against Wolves. That's a fairly intriguing stat. So So look. I really am expecting a good game here. I think they're two teams, as you said, they're in similar form. They're both decent teams. Like there's no, like they are good teams. But yeah, like I like if I can, I'll definitely be throwing my eyes on this game. 'Cause I really think it'll be a good game for a neutral perspective. Like I think it'll be one of the top games of the 3 o'clocks to watch for sure.
Yeah, right. Jump in predictions, Ocean. Start with you.
I think I'm going to give it to Wolves only on the basis of your stat. I would have said a draw before that, but on the basis of that stat, and just I think the form of Neto is a big difference. I'm going to say 3-2, 3-2 Wolves.
Yeah, Aaron.
I think now that I think about it, with like Fulham are actually having a hard time finding a scorer. Like their goals are spread out amongst their team. Their top scorer is actually, I just seen it there, Bobby DeCorver Reed, and he's a wing back, and as far as I can tell, which is mad.
I didn't know that. That's
I'm going to give it to Wolves. To be honest with you, 3-1, I'd say.
Yeah,
3-1. Yeah.
Just based on Wolves' performance last weekend, I don't know. I can say a draw. I'm going to keep it a draw. I think two kind of informed teams balance each other out. I think it'll be a cracking game as well. I'm going to go 2-2.